Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Heart, Mind, and Voice Show. How are you, ladies? How are you tonight?
Hello. Great, great, great.
Happy Saturday.
Yes, I don't know if
Yeah.
I want to say Happy Saturday or Woe unto us this coming week. Because if I tell you this week has been an interesting week, I
Yes,
think
we
all of
have.
us have stories
Yes.
to tell. Oh my God. I don't know if it was from our last week conversation about little Mercury, or should I say big giant Mercury, or I don't know what happened. But the one thing I know is that some things has taken place that are beyond our control. Oh my God. So I am your girl, Shalanda, aka as Coach Shalanda. We have your girl Kim, Miss Serious K, and we have
Hello.
your girl Kanee, known as Miss Queen A. Welcome. So before we get started and find out how our week was all about, we're gonna take the time out and definitely pay our respects and acknowledge and give our condolences to the Paul Mooney family, fans, and family and friends. He passed away not too long ago this week, and so we just want to um, give our condolences to the family. And we know he was definitely a great loss. He was an awesome, excellent, brilliant comedian, writer, actor. And the one thing that I know, me personally, I loved about him, he spoke his mind.
Yes.
If it came up, he said it.
Yes.
That's the one thing I like. There was no fear and no shame to his game. If there was any shame, hey, we never knew. So our hearts
Mhm.
go out to the family. We definitely will keep you all in our hearts and our prayers and in our heart, and just know that he's in a better place, and he's looking down, is smiling. He wants us to continue his legacy. So definitely, we will keep you in our thoughts and prayers. So now, ladies, let's move on to the show and talk about our fantabulous. So we're going to start with Miss Serious Carrie. I think you got an awesome story for us that everybody can't wait to hear this. Now, listen to this, fans. Go
Oh
ahead.
my goodness. So today, y'all, I'm standing there working and me and my clients just talking and we hear this loud boom. I thought it was a bomb. And then my client said, well, she thought it was lightning striking. And so I run out of the room and an elderly lady ran her car into the building.
Oh,
So
my.
our salon consists of suites. Some have an outside view and some don't. So mine don't have an outside view, a window view. So she hit two of the suites, which really like the front of her bumper like ran into the salon. So one client was hurt. The ceiling fell down and hit her head. The stylist, her leg was hurt. Of course, the equipment was just everything was just damaged. I mean, the ceiling, the framing on the door, the other suite, the whole wall like fell down and her station fell down. I mean, they can't even close their doors all the way. I mean, I felt sorry for the lady because she was so
Oh, my
shaken
God.
up. She said that she thought she hit the brake, but she hit the gas. She just came straight on in. Talk about drive-through hairdo. She was gonna give her a drive-through hairdo, but I'm
So
glad that everybody was
She like a Medea. She Medea.
no,
She was
no,
marrying somebody.
she was in a good kind of car. She was in a good kind of car. Because that's the first thing Mama said. Mama said, "Was that an old car?" I said, "Yeah, it was an Oldsmobile."
This
So,
old
needless to say, the car didn't have a lot of damage. She had a little dent, a piece of glass standing straight up, in the front of the hood. But other than that, the car was okay. And
Oh, my
but
God.
yeah, that was my day. It was, I mean, it woke me up because I mean, I was just chilling, just working, and just I'm like, so I've been on alert all day. So
Like,
But
Lord,
thank God nobody was seriously injured. Everybody was okay. It's just the salon, it's in bad shape. I don't know how long it's gonna take to fix it, but yeah, that was my day today.
oh
An
my
exciting day.
God. Well, thank God nobody got
Oh
hurt
yeah.
by the lady. However,
Yeah.
I'm hearing
Yeah.
claims,
Yeah.
claims, claims. You didn't get your hand hurt or anything. I mean, were you put
Oh
on
Lord.
there? Y'all
Oh
know
Lord.
we create
Oh Lord. I know. I
accidents.
know.
Oh my God! But more on a
Woo,
serious
we just hope she don't hit him too hard.
I don't even want to. Oh my God! Just to think about her and her insurance, and whew,
Yes.
that's a lot. Oh my
Mhm.
God! Well, I'm afraid to ask you, Queen A, how was your week?
Well, it's been a challenging week, but I had my spiritual massage, my spiritual fix this morning, which is I spoke with a coach and she got me straight, y'all. So she, it was a lot of powerful insights during that call. Matter of fact, she was on our show before, therapist Naikia. So she was amazing, and I had my spiritual massage, my emotional massage, and I'm ready.
That's awesome.
Great, great, great. So glad that you got your spiritual. Okay, well, so you had a pretty good spiritual massage. So you actually went to the what does Iyanla calls it a spiritual spa.
Yeah, absolutely.
You went to
Yes,
the spiritual
Yeah.
spa and you got rejuvenated and
yes.
revitalized.
And I realize when you're building and you're building and you have some goals that you want to accomplish and you don't realize what's getting in your way, those coaches bring it present to what's getting in the way. And oftentimes it's
Yeah.
us. I'm like, now I had to admit it was me.
That's for all of us.
Yes.
Always us. We're in our own way.
Yeah.
One of the most controversial celebrity wrote the book about get out of my way, or I was in my own way with the Tyrese Gibson, that I would get out of my way or I'm in my own way, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This book, and most
Mm-hmm.
of the time we're in our own way.
Yes.
We try to say other things or
Yeah.
maybe other people, but at the end of the day, we truly have the power to make our lives to be whatever we want it to be. And the thing is, I think for all of us, especially for me, speaking for myself, we don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And
Go ahead.
that is one of the
Yes.
main things that she spoke about today was getting into deliberate practice. And one of those things is not
Yes.
just creating a routine for yourself, but getting out of your own head and speaking to others and having someone hold you accountable. And oftentimes we don't like that, 'cause especially me, I start getting mad. Like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I asked Coach Shalanda to be my accountability partner, and I told her on plenty of times.
That's real sad. And I am a very sweet,
Oh
understanding.
no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no, no. Look, she. If
She
I
said,
like
no,
when
no,
I
no.
if I want to get up extra earlier to accomplish things, and I'll ask Coach Shalon. Well, okay, Coach Shalon, she is a coach too, to hold me accountable. She will say, like I'll say, call me in the morning, hold me accountable. And if I don't get up the first time, she texted me, called me like crazy, and I'm trying to be a morning person. She's like, get your ass up, do it.
Yeah.
And okay, now we get into a big argument.
But you said call me.
I know. I want to take a quick minute to acknowledge one of our favorite HMV fans. It's Nikki. Hello. How are you? She wanted to know about the story, so we had to give her a little background on that serious case story. Lord have mercy.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
But then number two got mad because her hair wasn't right.
Yeah. Everybody was saying they needed a drink after that.
Perfect night. Well, moving on. We've had some very interesting a week this past week. So we are going to move on, and we hope that next week, although we are officially moving into Mercury retrograde this coming week. So hopefully it won't be as bad because it's kind of like, in the beginning, but hey, let's just hold on to our seats tight and just stay prayed up and don't do nothing. Just breathe, wake up, breathe, work, go home. Wake up, breathe, work, go home.
Okay. Right.
Let me just put this disclaimer out. Wait, if you notice technology issues, if we do not show up on Saturday, because we have a
Oh God.
Wait. Nikki Green having a Mercury retrograde moment. She's like, why am I waving? And we can't see her, but she's waving.
It's
I know, right?
Steady going on. Just imagine, you guys. Just imagine. Oh my God! Let's move on to the show, y'all. Let's move on to the show. We got some great topics tonight. We want to start off with our hot topics. We want to talk about this controversial topic, y'all, about taking off the mask. Oh my God! And even with the article, I think Sirius K, you found the article about in Texas. Let it be known this was in Texas. One particular article that we found, news article. Do you remember the source of that article, Kim? Was it CNN?
I don't remember the source.
I don't remember the source of the article.
Oh,
no, it's okay. We have proof. So, we have to make that known. But one particular article, HMV fam, that we found earlier this week about being fully vaccinated. So in Texas, and I'm not sure if it was quite in the city of Dallas, but definitely in the state of Texas, over 500 individuals that were fully vaccinated called COVID. Fully. Over 500 people. And we're just talking about the state of Texas. We're not sure what city in Texas, but definitely in the state of Texas. Over 500. That's a nice little chunk of people. I would take $500 if somebody handed that to me. But 500 people that were fully vaccinated caught COVID, and 8 of the 500 people died. 8.
I'm sorry. It was 5. It was Fox 4 News. Fox 4 News.
Okay, we'll make that clear because we do not want to report any opinionated news source. However, it was Fox 4 News, so there was over 500 that was fully vaccinated in the state of Texas, and out of those 500 caught COVID. Those 500 people caught COVID, but only 8 of those 500 people actually died. And so now, if I can recall, and you ladies, please correct me if I'm wrong. President Biden did, come on at a news conference and stated that if you are fully vaccinated, that means both shots, in the recommended time frame, you do not have to wear your mask unless otherwise stated, meaning that if, wherever you go and they insist on that, you put on your mask. Otherwise, you do not have to. Now, am I right about that? Because you are protected. Now, I just told you over 500 caught it, fully vaccinated. So our thing is we want to shed some opinions, some light on, how do you feel about taking off that mask when COVID is actually still here? Now, the numbers may not be as crazy, and I don't think they are as crazy as they were, obviously, back in January. Isn't that sad? It's just May. Or even back in February. It's just May now. And now we are about to fully open for the summer. We're about to go crazy, go to the beach and have some fun and have all these pool parties. And COVID is still here. It's not completely gone. So tell me, how do you guys feel about that? Have at it.
Well, this is the thing, and they will blame unvaccinated people for giving them this is just something that I've been hearing people say now. Okay, I'm not saying all vaccinated people believe this. I'm not saying that all vaccinated people say this, but I've heard vaccinated people saying if you go around somebody that's not vaccinated, they could give you COVID. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, there are a lot of people that are fully vaccinated that do not want to be around people that have not been vaccinated because they
Right.
think that they're going to be sick. And the whole thing is like Nikki just said, the whole thing is very confusing.
Mm-hmm. Very
And
confusing.
that's supposed to be the purpose of taking off the purpose of being vaccinated, because they told you that you can take off your mask, you can be around people, because
Yeah.
if you get COVID-19, you won't be hospitalized, you won't die. Well, now the numbers don't lie. Okay. We
Mm-hmm.
see in the stories, fully vaccinated people are getting COVID-19 and they are being hospitalized and they are dying. So that's where the confusion lies. And I think that people took the vaccine in hopes of it being a cure, and it's not a cure. It's
Right.
just something to make it's something to play on your psyche, to make you feel like I'm safe, I'm okay, I'm protected, I can do this, I can do that, I can go all these different places, and I can be
Mm-hmm.
around these. And they want to get the economy going, and I understand that. But I still say keep your mask on, protect yourselves. I don't care if the person is vaccinated or not. I don't care who you are. Like somebody told me today, I'm fully vaccinated. I said, well, that's okay. I got my mask on. I mean, I don't care if you are vaccinated. I'm not taking
Mask
my
on.
mask off because you're vaccinated. I'm okay. But anyway, yeah, I'm keeping my mask on. And I'm sorry
Exactly.
I'm not vaccinated, but I'm keeping my mask on.
Absolutely. Queen A, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I'm still up in the air. I'm considering getting the vaccine shot, to be honest with you. But I'm a little bit up in the air about everything that's going on. Because I feel that people still should wear their masks, even if you're vaccinated, because there's people out there that's not vaccinated. So I still feel we all should be wearing our masks to kind of reduce it, as well as getting shots. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I wasn't an
Yeah.
advocate in the beginning, but I'm more leaning towards, just going ahead. I do feel it's going to be changes, but that's just my opinion. I'm not going to get into it. But I feel like we definitely will have some changes in that. But I feel people should continue wearing their masks until this thing is just out,
Yeah.
it's just gone. So,
Yeah.
um, and you never know, because people can say they're vaccinated and they're really not, and they're walking
Yeah.
around with no mask. So you're just open to just catching COVID. So, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would definitely agree with you all and with Nikki. It's truly confusion, nothing but confusion, because on one hand, literally the world, forget just the nation, but the world saw, um, it's okay to not have your mask on if you're fully vaccinated. However, 8 people have died, 500 people have contracted it that were fully vaccinated, 8 have died. This is just in our state. We don't know about, the numbers with the other states, but just in our state alone. And so, um, definitely a lot of confusion. I think my point is COVID is still here. It is not gone. It's still here. So
Yeah.
I, in my unpopular opinion, I would say, what? Still wear your mask, regardless if you've taken those 2 shots. Still wear your mask, because we are in the middle of this year, just about, in the 6th month of this year. We still have 6 months to go, and we do not know what is to come within the 6 months. We literally do not know.
Yeah.
and I like
Yeah.
what
And I wanted to say,
Should we check the
no,
stars and
go
see
ahead.
what stars?
you know what? Yeah. So I love what Roderick and both Nikki said, but I'm very mindful of what we say here before we get shut down.
Oh yes, yes.
But
Yeah.
Roderick, I'm here. I'm hearing you, and I'm agreeing. So it's very. By the way, hi Roderick. We haven't seen you in some time. Nice to see you. But
Yeah.
it is good to wear your mask. I'm just gonna say that, and not, to me again, if you vaccinated or not, I still think you should wear your mask.
Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
definitely
And I just wanted to say,
agree. Mhm.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say Queen A was saying that things are about to start changing. That's true, because I just saw a commercial. They're looking for more volunteers because they're going to try to, I don't know if they're going to change the vaccine or add another one or what, but they're paying like $3,500. Shalana, I don't know if you've seen the commercial. They're paying $3,500 for participants to come and do the study, and you stay like over 11 nights. So something is about to change with the vaccine, probably because of the new variants. I don't know.
But look, y'all, if y'all need money and a place to stay, there you go.
Right?
That's too funny. That's too funny. But yeah, fans, we definitely agree with your comments and everything. But some things, we, as the co-host of the show, cannot speak because we will get penalized for it. But you are definitely entitled to your opinion. And hey, we see it, we read it, and we definitely agree with it 100%. But just our advice, is to our wise counsel is to really wear your mask, even if you are vaccinated. Wear your mask. If you're not sure, if you're still up in the air about should I get vaccinated, should I not, what should I do? The only advice that I know I personally can give you is to do what you feel is the wise thing to do for you and your family.
Right.
So to do the best thing. If you feel like no, we're just gonna take care of our immune system, make sure we're in great shape and health, do that. If you feel like, no, I'm going to go ahead and just take extra precaution, do that. Whatever you feel like is best for you and your family, that's the route that you should take. But definitely wear your mask.
I have a question, right? So I have another interview for a tech writing as a tech writer, and it's in a great job, but it's a startup, tech company, and it's a smaller company. And I can't remember exactly how many people in the office. However, the lady told me that most of them in the office had COVID. Now, of course, they clear and they wear masks, but it's just kind of concerning and alarming. Like, well, is there a way we can do the interview online, remote, like why do I have to go into the office? So that's a little bit of concern. So I just want to know, like, what would you think? Would you want to work in a place where most people had COVID? I mean, they don't have it anymore, but would you want to work at a place that most people had COVID and you have to report to the office every single day?
Is this for us?
That's the question.
I'm like, wait, well, I would definitely say I personally would not want to work in the office. Of course, remote, we're at home, but right. I would not want to be in the office. And if I just, because there are different circumstances, different situations for everybody. So if I just had to be there in the office, I would definitely request safety. I would definitely, what is it, plexiglass? If I don't have an office with put it around my
in the office with the whole big mask.
I mean, I would definitely be Fort Knox up in that, But I on the real, no, I would not want to be I would not want to be in the office with individuals that have had COVID.
Right.
I had to do a fingerprinting this week, and I was speaking with the lady that she was a nurse, I guess by night, and she did fingerprint. I'm just saying, because she said she was a nurse, and so she had COVID, and now she and I both had on our masks, and at the fingerprinting place, she actually had plexiglass up. So the minute she said I had COVID back in August of 2020, I was like, the minute she said that, now she said she had it, and we both had on our masks, but it was just something. I was like, oh, hurry up! And then she was touching but she had on gloves, and so I'm like, you're touching my fingers. Oh my god! But she did give some advice about her opinion about not taking the shots, and please note that I said she's a nurse, and just not favorable for the shots. So that says a lot right there. Okay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I would, I've been through I was already working and some of my clients tested positive, and some of the stylists tested positive. So I mean, that's my job. And after they cleared, of course, they were able to come back. But then y'all also know, I don't remember if I told y'all, I took off for about 4 to 6 weeks because I was like, okay, this is getting out of hand because I've had, clients, it's just getting a little bit too close. So let me go home for a minute and chill out because I was taking those COVID tests just too many back to back. I'm like, let me go sit down. So I waited and I knew about 6 weeks, the people would be negative, everybody would be clear, came back. But they say you build antibodies or whatever once you become get positive and all this kind of stuff. So, but anyway, it's safe. I say as long as I would ask the company, what type of safety measures are you taking? PPE, all this kind of stuff, all of that. So as long as they're taking it, because some companies, they have people to come in and sanitize at night, and in the evening they have the plexiglass and they wear masks. So as long as they're taking all the safety precautions, I say go ahead and go. I mean, and make sure you wear your mask. So we got to protect ourselves. We can control what other people do, the other employees, but just take care of yourself, protect yourself. That's all I say, and go with it. No.
I'm looking at some of the comments.
I know. I'm like, wow, yeah.
From some of our fans. Was this Roderick Morris? They may be good, but now my health is at risk working in an office setting with the majority of the staff has had COVID. That's how I feel. But you just kind of gotta be
he was asking a question.
Is he asking a question or making a statement? I guess he's saying now you said I gotta be in the office with the staff that has had COVID. Are you serious right now?
Right.
So how do you feel about it, Queen A? How do you feel if everything works out?
Well, it's like I said, I mentioned it before on another show, a lot of opportunities been opening up. And I'm telling you, if you all are, if you are writing in some form, learn to do technical writing because it is a demand for technical writers. But I may not, because there's a lot of opportunities that's been opening up and that's been coming. And I have some, I have I believe 3 more interviews set up, and they're remote positions. This job is kind of offering, is a startup. So you know how it is with startup. Y'all, by the way, I said it again. Watch Startup on Netflix, y'all. You gotta see it.
I told you last week.
Okay.
We are not giving. Please don't get that fans and fam. Please don't.
You gotta watch that. That show has so many messages, and especially, the one that stood out to me the most is when you want a certain lifestyle, you got to leave from where you came from. You don't ever forget where you came from, but you got to leave a certain mindset in order to embrace your new path. So I'm telling you, it's on point, y'all. I just got to say this. I was up all night, glued to TV. It was three seasons, and I watched literally all 3 seasons in 3 days.
Wow. Well, let's see here.
Wow, that must be pretty good.
Look what our producer said. Queen A, it's a no. Mercury is retrograded, child.
But you know what? That's good that company told you that, because that's good that company told you that, because guess what? The companies probably all had COVID too, and they not gonna tell you. And you go there and you start working and you don't know. So I guess it's different if you don't know, huh? But when you know.
Right. I can't tell you the name of what, Nikki Green, or the show or the job. I can't say the name of the job.
Nikki, we will email you that show. We will email her that show because she is interested in watching it. We would not give them any credit. They are not sponsoring nothing. Now, if they want to sponsor to give them all the accolades, but they are not. So we will be sure to email you that. Be sure to email Nikki that show, the title of the show, and where she can find that show. Now, moving on, y'all. Let's get into some of the meat of our show tonight. We want to start off by talking about having some of these work husbands and work wives that do anybody. Now, all of us have been in corporate. Well, Kim, have you ever worked? Because Kim have always been her own one-woman show with the stylist. But I know.
I worked other jobs, but not
Oh,
yeah, I worked other jobs, but not for long because
okay.
I couldn't.
So,
But
I
yeah.
don't know if anybody have been married at home. Y'all have had y'all for real actual spouse. But guess what? When y'all go to your corporate job, or you can go to the retailer to the flip them or turn them over. Work, and you have a work spouse there too. So I am hearing this more and more, work wives and work husbands. I just want to know, was that created from our generation or the generation after us, the generation we created? I'm
I
thinking,
I think it was going on before.
This
I think it was before our generation. Absolutely.
okay, but I will say this: do you
yeah.
think that the generation we created, do you think that they gave it a title because it was just strictly affairs before us, and you know? Do you think that the generation we birthed gave it a title, work wives and work husbands, or what do y'all think?
No, I think it was our generation that did it. They gave it the name. Work
Mm,
wise and work husband.
really?
Yeah, it's
You
our
know?
generation. That's all I've been hearing it from. I haven't been hearing it from like my children and stuff like that. They'll probably ask me, what is that? But I've been hearing it from people our age.
Wow, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Wow. For those
Yes.
that do
Yes.
not know, work wives and work husbands, like I mentioned earlier a minute ago, those are, really good. I would say, to describe it at best, really good, close female friends or male friends, if well, just, I'm not going to say that, just strictly good free female friends, good male friends that, and that you guys are so intimate with each other at work that y'all can just about say, yeah, we're married, or we have this relationship going. So let's just call us work. I can't even fathom going to work and then having someone that close, because you know what you share with your wife or with your husband at home, and then actually sharing those intimacies with that person. I can't even understand that. What do you
Well,
guys think? Like, I don't even understand
um,
why would they give it that title. I can't understand that.
but let me say this. I remember I was working because this was years ago. I was working at this job, and I was in a relationship at the time, and he was in a relationship. We both were having challenges in our relationship, but it is interesting because we didn't give each other that name. Other people gave us that name because we literally act like we were a couple. So like if he comes in the morning, he'd say good morning to me. He knew I love coffee. He'd bring coffee. It's like he would come in the office. He'd ask me to order lunch for him. So it was literally like we were a couple. And people would begin to say, "Oh, that's your husband, that's your wife, that's your work husband, your work wife." And we would literally sit there for hours and just have a conversation. But you know what eventually happened, though, right? we end up becoming together, getting into some form of relationship. So we got to be mindful of what we call, what we put a title to, because what we name it, we become. So, and everybody else was giving us that title, and we were kind of like, well, no, we just friends. And eventually we started to get closer and closer. But it was literally like before we even got into any form of relationship, we just like friends or whatever. It was literally like we were in a relationship. And eventually, again, that did happen. And it was because of what people was calling us, what we named ourselves. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So
Mm.
the work wives and work husband stuff, that I don't agree with that. I mean, I don't think people should do that. That's a very thin line to tread. I
Yes, it
mean, because
is.
like you said, Queen A, they could end up being something else. And even if it's not something, then you'll hear probably your coworkers talking about, throwing out rumors that y'all sleeping together, this and that's going on. Because basically when you at work, your work husband is taking the place of your husband while you're at work. He's making sure you got lunch. He's making sure you got breakfast. I mean, maybe if you need help with your work, catching up on work, he'll help you catch up on work. You know, y'all sharing your intimate secrets. Like, what if you and your spouse at home, y'all into it, you sharing that, and he's sharing what he's going through at home, and y'all know what happens then. Then you create
Yes,
this bond, and you think y'all got something. And next thing you know, y'all sleeping around. And like you were saying earlier, you cannot. You got to be careful what you put. You call people, because marriage and calling somebody your husband or your wife, marriage is a sacred thing.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I don't think you should be throwing that word around and giving everybody their title. You know,
Right.
you're my husband, or you're my work husband, work wife. And some people think it's cute and it's fun and games, but that's
No,
a dangerous thing. I don't play around with stuff like that. I don't even give people even a notion that I want to be close to them. You know, like a guy, we have a barber at I would not even give him a hint or a notion that, hey, you know, I want to be your homie, or, you know, we'll hang out like we no, You know, yeah, that's a dangerous.
yeah.
Mm, 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 mm,
And
mm,
as I
mm,
got
mm, mm.
older, I realized I'm very careful. So if I'm working and if I first of all, I don't like to mix work and personal, at all. So I've done that in the past, but as I got older and more mature, I mean, you can meet someone at work, and it's possible. A lot of relationships are established at work. But if you're married, that's a no-no. Like, I would not even entertain becoming close because you're spending most of your time at work, rather
It
than
works.
home. So I wouldn't even entertain becoming friends with someone at work of the opposite sex if I am married. Now, if I'm single, y'all, that's a whole other story. No, I'm joking. I don't like to intertwine, the two, but it is some exceptions.
well, you know what? Okay, y'all know me. I like to push the button. So let's take it just a tad bit further or further with our HMV fam. Miss Nikki said, men and women cannot be friends or work husbands and wives. Now, I've heard
Hmm.
this topic before about men and women being friends. So, do y'all think that men and women can be friends?
But,
The opposite sex can be friends, like true, authentic friends, like me and Sirius K or me and Queen A. Do you think Billy D can be friends, or me and Denzel, he married. Do you think I could be friends with a married man? Friends. Or let's just be fair about it. Can I be friends with someone that's single? Shamar Moore, you think that me and the opposite sex, like somebody like Shamar Moore, you think I can be his friend? I probably can be his friend. That's not scratch that.
Sandrine said, I think men and women can be friends respectfully. There is a line that shouldn't be crossed, though.
So what do y'all think? Come on now. Come on.
Well, as far as
Tell me what you.
okay, as far as me, speaking for a married woman,
Right,
my
right, right.
husband, he already said, I'm your best friend.
And
If I say one of my friend girls is like, okay, you know my best friend, you say, I'm your best friend. So no, because you know what? My husband is my friend because I talk to him like a homegirl. Sometimes I make a mistake and say, girl, and I'm like, oops.
I do that all the time. I thought it was just me. I do it all the time.
No, because we have that type of relationship. Like we can talk about anything and we
wow.
just be talking and talking. So I can't find that in another man. I got it all in my husband. So no, I'm good.
Yes, honey. Pro marriage on this show. Pro marriage. Queen A, tell me what you think so I can get down to it.
Well, hey, I have a different experience. I do have a male friend. In fact, I have two male friends. We never had. I mean, one friend I knew since the age of 5 years. 5 years. So we grew up together. We are strictly friends, and we're like brothers and sisters. However, he did end up developing some type of feelings. I didn't, but he did. But we kept it strictly on a friendship level and never crossed that line. However, we don't hang out or anything. I have another friend. I mean, I would say he started off as a mentor to me and became more of a friend and grew into a friendship. And we never crossed that line. We don't really hang out. We don't do any of that. He is truly like a brother. He's married. I met his wife, and he's truly like a brother to me. And again, we understand that we are male and female. We may both be attractive people, so we do not cross those lines at all.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
Now, if I'm
Well,
married, it depends on if I'm married, how my husband feel about it. If he's not comfortable with it, I
Mhm.
certainly wouldn't do it. However, I do believe if you're married, who your friends are should also be your spouse's friends.
That's right. That's
100%.
right.
100%. This is the Heart, Mind, and Voice show. We definitely are pro marriage. And I'm not having it any other way. But I would definitely say that, having outside friends, that is definitely a thin line. That is a thin line if you are single. Now, married, you already know, like, Serious Case said, your spouse should definitely be your best friend. You are going to have that the same sex that's your best friend as well, so the girls can talk about what the men don't want to talk about. And the same for the men. They're going to talk to their buddies about what they don't really want to talk about, with their wives. And that's okay. That's totally normal and natural. But as far as your first best friend, it would definitely be your spouse. And that respect should be there when it comes to the opposite sex. The opposite sex should be the couple's friend and not just his friend,
Right.
but or if it's a guy, her friend, but it should be the couple's friend. And we pray and hope that that guy is married as well, or that girl is married as well. And there are situations to where the single guy has been the husband's friend forever, or the wife may have known that single guy for a long time, and he gets to know her husband or whatever. So there are different situations or whatever. But at any rate, in any situation, that person is to become the couples. That's just a matter of respect. And that has a lot to do with character. I was listening to, I don't know if you guys have heard one of the podcasts, Worth the Conversation, talk about uplifting. Worth the Conversation is a really good, podcast to listen to, or show to listen to in your spare time. Just look it up on YouTube. Worth the Conversation is really good. And and they were talking about character. The guest, it was Iyala, was talking about character. She was talking about that too. Um, what's his name? Jeezy, Jenny, my
Mhm.
husband. Yeah, Jeezy. And
Mhm.
so she mentioned about how character is missing in so many facets of within today's individual, this character, the reason why, so much is happening, why nothing can stay still or can continue to stand, why it just seemed like everything is steady going down, 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 down. And I know I have mentioned it so many times just in conversation for my church. Our bishop always would say here and there, and it was one time it was a sermon, and he said, your gifts and your talents will get you to that place that you want to be. Will get you there, but it's your character that will keep you at
Oh,
the
yes.
top. It is your
Amen.
character. So you can get wherever you got the skills, you got the gift to get you to wherever you're trying to go, but your character will keep you there. And it's your character. Yes, your
Mhm.
gift will make room for you, but your character will keep the doors open for you, will keep continue to open the doors so you can have room to share the gift and the talent and
Mhm.
skills that God has blessed you with. But if you have such he used the analogy of some of us, lovely sisters in the boardroom. And he said, you can't go in the boardroom and something don't go your way and you start, or that
Mhm.
can't happen. My
Mhm.
sister, who that's definitely
Yeah.
from our culture. Yes, Nikki, your bishop. You can't be in the war room trying to let someone have it. There is a nice, intelligent way to let people off. I know Queen A always pick on me about that when it comes to, saying my piece. But I've gotten a lot better. and I don't get all.
We're going to tell the truth here.
We are telling the truth.
We're going to tell the truth.
Do I do all of that? Or do I just
I don't see you because you're in Texas. I'm in Georgia. I can hear in the voice.
There is a difference, fam. There is a difference with the versus. But you do have to learn. There is a time and a place to let it be heard. Because sometimes you may need to have time for that individual or those individuals. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the time and place for it. So that's what we're trying to get across. Character means a lot. So these work wives and these work husbands, an absolute hell no. Go ahead, Queen A.
I would say it's a powerful statement. And this is what I've learned, especially over the years. Not everything that's thought is meant to be spoke, or spoken. So it's a place for everything. And it's so important that, as we mature, that we learn how to, when to speak certain things or how to speak it, especially when you mention about the character, because it's all in our attitude. And it's this, we just can't be going off in a certain environment. It's a time and a place for everything. Now you're in Pookieville, that's a whole nother time. You go.
Those of you that don't know what Pookieville is. It is a place where, okay. But anyway, when you mention attitude, Steve Harvey always says your attitude determines your altitude.
Yes.
Your attitude determines your altitude. Mm-hmm. So, again, because we are who we are, we know our culture better than anybody else that's outside of our culture. And, truth be told, as Queen A said, we're all about, transparency, telling the truth. Attitude and character definitely needs to be worked on in our community a lot because, when it comes to holding up the right attitude in bad situations, it's easy to hold up the right attitude in a good situation. Yeah. But what about when that good situation turns south, turn left, goes wrong? What do we do then? How do we react? So then our reactions are definitely, necessary and definitely essential when it comes to situations that are not favorable. Mm-hmm. It's necessary to see and to know for ourselves because we're working on ourselves. So it's definitely necessary and essential for ourselves. How are we going to react when the situation, because that's what matters when it's not, just like friends. When all is well, of course, people are going to flock to you. But what about those dark moments? What about when you're in trouble? You can't find a good person to help you out of that situation. So definitely got to pay attention to our attitude. We definitely got to pay attention to our character because those things matters most. Character and attitude. So we're going to move on from the work wives and husbands because that's an absolute hell no. It can cause havoc, and we do know what that is. That's just another way of saying affairs. It is downright affairs. So moving on to another controversial topic. When sexy is too sexy. Woo, honey. Especially with the gram. The pictures that we see. And I don't know, like so many, everybody, all of us, we have our different celebrities that we like and different people that, we follow on the gram and everything. But I will say that the gram is probably more explicit than Facebook. Tell me if I'm wrong. But the pictures that I see on the gram, not the body parts that I see constantly, I'm talking from little bitty skinny to nice and voluptuous. Everybody is so proud to show their actual skin. And so When is sex considered just a tad bit too much? Or here's another question for you. Is it too much at all? Is it okay to show your body parts anytime, anywhere, any place? What do you girls think? Let's not
Well, I definitely,
this. Queen A,
I guess that's
I
almost
was raised in Series K.
tell
no, I
me.
was just thinking, I was like, that's almost like, like you were saying earlier, Coach Shalanda and Queen A, there's a time and place for everything, a conversation, an attitude, a dress, your style of dress. There's a time and place for everything. And I definitely wouldn't go to church with my cleavage open or now I call them, they call them mini skirts, but when they're a little short, I call them baby skirts. So I'm definitely not going with a baby skirt on. So,
I've
I
never
was
heard of baby skirt.
baby skirt. That's my name. That's what I give baby skirts. Because when it's past mini, it's baby. Like you can't even bend over because if you bend over, everything gonna show. At least with a mini skirt, if you stoop or bend, you know. But I remember being a member of a church years ago when I first came to Dallas. And there was a lady that was a member there. She had a high profile job, and she wore, how like you wear your pantsuits, where she would wear the skirt suits, with the jacket and the skirt. And I swear, I really think that lady went and got that skirt tailored into a baby skirt
Oh my
because she wore the baby
God.
skirt. She wore the baby skirt to church,
Uh-huh.
and nobody would say anything. But then I remember coming to church, and it was like, in the springtime, and I had on my sandal heels.
Mhm.
And one of the mothers of the church, I'm walking through the door, she stopped me and she says, "Baby, where's your pantyhose?" And I said, "Ma'am." She said, "Yeah, we wear stockings with dresses around here." And I said, "Oh, well, ma'am, it's hot. I can't wear stockings when it's hot outside." So she was like, "Well, next time wear some stockings with them kind of." But you got Miss Such and Such walking around, Miss Watermelon walking around with a baby skirt on. I don't think that's appropriate for church. I
No.
wouldn't wear the baby skirt for church.
Right.
And then also I remember my club days when my kids, and I remember when my kids were little, and
Mhm.
I would wear, revealing clothes, but I wouldn't wear it around my son. So I would cover up when I walk out the door. So when I get to my car, I take my jacket off or whatever, because I felt uncomfortable. I just, I just don't think I don't even like, I wouldn't walk around my son a certain type of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think he'd be seen like
Especially.
that. I think that's very inappropriate. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's a time and place for everything. And it's okay to be sexy. It's okay to dress sexy, but you
Yeah.
gotta be modest with have a little class about yourself. It's okay. Cause we dress sexy, we feel some kind of way. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
But just be mindful of where you are, and who's around and what type of response you want to get, what type of attention that you're trying to attract. You have to be
Yes.
careful with it. So I'm all for sexy, but just, be careful with it.
Yeah. When it comes to dressing
Mhm.
sexy, I always say there's an intention behind it.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on it, Queen A?
Well, it's definitely you're trying to gain some type of attention, or you're
Mhm.
trying to attract something. So is again, it's a time and a place for everything. So
Mhm.
don't go up in the church or corporate environment with the cleavage showing, and
Mhm.
the butt all out and just very tight, just very fitting outfits. So all your goods are showing. You don't do that. Now, when you home and you role playing, you can wear the baby shorts, the baby, as Kim say, the
Yeah,
baby,
the baby.
the baby skirt. When you
Baby skirts.
so that's when you role playing at home, and but don't do that out in the public. It's a time and a place for all of that. And you just want to be mindful of what public setting you are in, and make sure what you have is fitting for that type of environment.
Yeah, you definitely do. So
Yeah.
just be mindful of the dressing. There's a time and a place for it. Hey, you can show, and that's the one thing that um, a lot of people, especially if they're okay with it and they love it, because a lot of people do, including women, we like to see beauty. We like to see beautiful women as well as handsome, in shape, buff men. So, we like to see it all, So, it's nothing wrong with showing, what you work so hard because you get up in age, then you begin to work hard for that sculpted body.
Yeah, and Bill, it's like when Sirius K brought up that topic before, we were all having a discussion about the woman who was in the it was the carnival. It was a
Six
carnival. Yeah,
Flags or something.
yeah, yeah, Six Flags, where she was escorted out, right? Because she was dressing too, maybe her shorts was too short.
For
And
her.
in that situation, I didn't really think it was that bad. I mean, it is kids around, but she's probably going to the water park. It's hot as hell walking in Six Flags, and when it's warm outside. So she probably I don't think in that situation she wasn't trying to be too provocative, but she just wanted to just dress for the occasion. It's hot. Is she in the carnival? She's having a good time. So yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
artist was definitely a young. Was she a teenager? Serious K?
No,
Okay.
no, she was an adult. She was just taking her son to the park, and like they said, people walk around there with swimsuits on. So I
Yeah.
don't know what the big
And I
deal
was
was
gonna
with
say,
that.
yeah, especially in the summertime when you're at water parks or at amusement parks, people are going to show. You know how hot it is out at the. You may be glad about it naked.
Yeah.
So that is, to me, I don't see anything wrong with that because you have the little young, girls showing everything, all the way up. So, and it's
Yeah.
hot and it's the place for it. What are you going to wear at an amusement park? So when we do talk about, time and place for, like you mentioned, Serious Kate at church, you might want to be a little mindful, put a little time in, your outfit, or work. That's another place that you want to present yourselves worthy. But an amusement park, something like that, I mean,
Yeah.
and you want to be relaxed and have a good time, and that's all that matters, nothing else.
Mhm. Yes.
So, definitely, ladies, we've had a great show tonight. We've had some exciting topics, talking about these work husband and wives and this mask off.
Oh, Bill Gates. We didn't get to that topic of Bill Gates with the work wives, the husband wives.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
The Bill Gates saga. That's what I call it. Bill Gates saga. Divorce saga. Oh my God. You would never think. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it? You would have never thought. He doesn't, you know how some people just fit that profile of, yeah, he may have a side chick, or she may,
Mhm.
or so, yeah, he may have a side chick, but he just comes across as a man of just so much respect. And if I tell you that respect, packed up his luggage and slammed the door.
Look, y'all, I believe nerds are free.
Yeah.
So
You do? Okay, that's controversial. So why do you think nerds are free?
in a good way. I think they like to remember that show Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So look, the more creative you are, that's a whole nother topic. But
Yes.
the more creative you are, the more sexual you are.
Nigga said he had a side chick. Yeah, nigga, he had a side chick, honey. A side chick.
Yeah, that's not good.
The Bill and the Gates had a side chick. But it's just, and I
He
still
had a work
And then
wife.
party.
He had a work wife. See, he had a work
Mhm.
wife.
Ooh, Lord. So you know what? I wonder if that's the reason why, or is that one of the reasons? Because I feel like it's several reasons. But if that's one of the reasons why Linda said, I'm out and I'm taking half the estate.
Yeah.
And you know what? And then they
Supposedly.
asked
Yeah.
to remove him. They asked him to step down from the board because of the situation. So it's like a company that you have built, and you got to step down from the board. That's like, that it doesn't pay. Listen, a night of pleasure do not pay for
For
the
a lifelong hard
exactly.
years investment. It's not worth it. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Queen A, because that's what we want you to know from the Heart Mind and Voice show. Is it, just think about, is it really worth it? There have been so many marriages destroyed behind a piece of 5 minutes. I'm not gonna even give it 5 minutes, 2 minutes, but thank God for the blue pill. Okay, then we can add some minutes to it. But
Yeah.
just the blue pill one now. For 5 minutes of pleasure for the most part, I'm sure. It's not worth it. You
Yeah.
work so hard, you get this, wonderful family, and then bam, you can lose it all behind a piece of
Mm.
Well, I hope it was really good at least. Look, we
Okay.
have lost
Sure.
all of that. I hope it was really good. I
Yeah.
hope it was worth it then.
We're not saying that that's
Yeah.
the reason why they're getting a divorce, but it is brought up in the conversation during the divorce proceedings in the media. So we don't know if that is the reason, the only reason, or whatever. But
Mhm.
all in all, it's really a sad situation to build a lifetime with
Yeah.
with a woman, and then and you built a reputation and you built a legacy. We're talking the Microsoft guy here, and to let it all fall down. Wow. Because I feel like that can somewhat damage a lot moving forward for him. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
We want to use our head, not here, men and women, men, head, not head.
She like that.
Not head. We love you, family. Thank you so much for taking out the time to tune in
Yeah.
tonight. We hope that you have a fabulous the rest of your weekend and awesome week. We will tune in next week. Have a great week. And you know what? Get ready, because we're about to slide into that retrograde and we will have an update for you all. We love you. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night.